Okay, so if we're going to do this together, we have to come to some agreement, boys. Paulo, you too. Turn off electronics, Jeannie. Good job. Hello. How are you? It's Jeannie. And I just wanted to jump on and talk to you about an amazing story that has just warmed my heart and really given me a lot of love and light in my life. Several months ago, you may remember I mentioned about rescuing a coyote. Well, I'm going to tell you the story of Flower. Well, it's actually Flower and George Clooney. That's right. So, while I'm here drinking my Yorkshire tea, thank you, Charlotte from Whispers Audio. I find I'm drinking this probably twice a day and my Earl Grey once a day. What could be happening? Thank you. So, back to Flower. One day, I was driving my mom home from an appointment somewhere. I think the dentist or the doctor. It was in July. And we were in the middle of a heat wave. And by the time it was, 9:30, 10 in the morning, it was already well into the 90s. So I'm driving up one of our country roads. And I'm going kind of fast because there's nobody around. Well, as I was driving, something caught the corner of my eye. Now, I never looked to my left. I'm driving that way and something just didn't register with my brain quite right. And so I drove on thinking I saw a rock or some shadows or something like that. But I drove for like another 10, 15 seconds and I just thought, no, go back, Jeannie. So I turned around. Now, this is a road without shoulders, and there are a lot of big logging trucks that come sailing down this road. So I turned around, and got going the other way, and my mom said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I don't know. I think I saw something, but I don't know what it was. But I have to check it out." And so I got 2 tires off on the shoulder, which was maybe about 18 inches, not much, and just prayed that a big logging truck didn't come barreling down. Well, I got out of the car and I went to inspect what I thought were shadows. And at the very least, I thought, well, maybe it's a little deer, a fawn, or something that got hurt or hit on the road. Well, I looked over into the weeds, the very dry weeds, and it's already 92 degrees and it's about 10 something in the morning. Hot, very hot and dry. And I looked and just visible was a little coyote. I don't know how, but I knew it was a girl. Later I figured it out because I could see, but just as she was lying there, I could tell she was a girl. And I thought, what's wrong? And my first thought was she was hit and she's not going to survive. But I couldn't just turn around and leave. I couldn't leave her. So I thought, what do I do? What do I do? I'm going to try and pick her up and just assess what the problem is. Because I'm a vet. I have experience with wildlife. So I went back to my car, and in the back of my car, I had a jacket for some reason. So I brought it back, and I leaned over, and I said, "It's okay, girl. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to try and help you." And so I reached down, and I thought, here it comes. She's going to jump at my face or my throat or, snarl at me. She didn't. She gave a feeble attempt at trying to get away, but something was wrong with her back left or right leg. I can't remember now. It's been back in July. And so she couldn't walk. Her whole back end was just collapsing. So I thought her back is broken, her hip is broken, something bad. So I put the jacket on top of her, and I lifted her up. And I wanted to just kind of look at her and see what I could see. She gave one kind of a half-hearted snarl and nip at me. But I kept her away from my face because I thought I don't want to get bit in my throat or my face. And she gave it up. She just surrendered, and she peed all over me. And that kind of tells you that they're giving up, right? They're just letting it all go. So I took her back to my car. I opened up the back, and I laid her down. And she somehow shifted up onto a pile of things that I had in a little container, and she just laid there with her face down, completely surrendered. And I looked at her, and you could see she had ticks all over her. So many ticks, lots of ticks, great big fat ones.
His eyes open.
It's okay, baby. It's okay. I am so sorry this happened to you. I'm so sorry. Oh, there's ticks all over. Poor babies. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry this happened to you.
And she had just given up. It broke my heart. I was able to give her a little bit of petting. I'd never pet a wild coyote before, so I was petting her and telling her in my gentlest voice that it was going to be okay. I was going to take care of her. So, now what? I've got a coyote in my car. So I called this number that I saw a lot every time I drove by. I remembered this place. It was the Sierra Wildlife Rescue. And something just told me, someday you may need them. So I called them and I said, I have a coyote in my car that I found on the side of the road. She said, you have a coyote? I said, yeah. I said, I think her leg or hip or back is broken. She said, bring her on in. So it took about 45 minutes, and I drove very carefully. And I kept having visions of her kind of like waking up out of her shock and stupor and attacking us, jumping over the back seat and attacking us. She didn't. So when I pulled up to the Sierra Wildlife Rescue, I opened up the hatchback and I looked, and she's still there in her little, it almost looked like she was praying, and just so dejected and so scared, but she was so beautiful. So the people came out, and they picked her up and looked at her.
Sorry, baby. What you did was really bad.
And we all started picking off the ticks. That's the first thing we started to do, picking them off and stepping on them. And then they put her in a little crate, a little carrier. Well, I went in to fill out all the paperwork, and I said she has a name. Her name is Flower. She was this beautiful flower among the weeds, And I've talked to you guys before about looking for the beauty in the midst of weeds, looking for the flowers because they're there. And here she was. She was blending in very well. How I saw her driving by at 60 miles an hour, I have no idea. It was a miracle. It was like her little spirit called out to mine. Something. And anyway, they took her in and I filled out all the paperwork and I left a donation. And I said, I want her name on all her paperwork and I want updates on her. And so they said they would. And I got updates. Well, I became very close to the people taking care of her. Sure enough, her back femur was broken. And the vet, set it and wrapped it and casted it. And so she went to a rehabilitation place, this gal who fosters animals like this, mountain lions and coyotes and bobcats. So Flower got her own pen. As she healed, she had her own enclosure. Well, it wasn't very long after that somebody brought in a little male that I can't remember what his circumstances were, but they put him with Flower. Well, she was just the prettiest little thing and prettiest coyote I ever saw. Her eyes are just so beautiful. Well, this fellow was so handsome. He was just gorgeous, so I named him too, George Clooney. Because he was the George Clooney of coyotes. He was so handsome, just gorgeous. So Flower and George Clooney paired up and became friends. And they were both taken such great care of. Well, it came time to take Flower's cast off. And they did. But it was a couple weeks later that she broke another leg, her front leg. So she was not ready for release. So this is about maybe 6 weeks from the time that I found her and brought her in. So she had to go back to the vet and, get that leg casted. It was just kind of a freak accident. Well, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks go by and they take the cast off and it hadn't completely healed, but he said with a little more time, in her enclosure, it's a big enclosure too, that, she would probably be fine. So anyway, we were kind of starting to plan on a release date, and I got a call that she broke her leg again. So they took her to the vet who works with them, and he said she may have a problem, like an endocrine problem or something. But it got to the point where they were considering maybe they would put her down, because if she just is breaking, like that, she won't survive in the wild. So anyway, I was just, is there something we can do? Is there some tests? Let's do tests. Do them, take care of my coyote. Well, they did, and he said, let's go ahead and cast her leg again, and I think if this can heal, then she's got a fair shot at surviving in the wild, particularly since she's paired up with George Clooney. So weeks and weeks have gone by, and so they were asking me, where did you find her? Because we kind of like to release them back in the same kind of area where they were. But I said, it's such a busy road, it's not a good area. Let me find something, a better location for her, and I scouted around. I drove around for days looking and looking. Every time I would head downtown or into town somewhere, I'd take a path to see, is there a pond nearby? Are there houses or barns nearby? We didn't want that. Is there enough vegetation and trees so that she can hunt? And, this whole criteria that I was looking for Flower and George Clooney. So I found a place. It was perfect. It was far enough from houses. There was a big pond with lots of Canada geese all around it. And lots of woods, so she would be able to hunt. They would both be able to hunt and have a source of water year-round, which is kind of hard in these hills because, California has this big drought. So, anyway, they came out and met me and approved the site. We walked all around to see that it was actually a really good site, and it was. It got the blessing. So we planned the release for today. Today's Monday the 27th, right after Thanksgiving. So her leg has healed up as well as it's going to heal. It's a little wonky, but she can live with a deformation and do just fine, the vet determined. So they came out and I met them.
So today's the big day. We released Flower and George Clooney. I'm so excited. Look at this primo spot. There's a lake right over there, a big pond, and lots of animals and fowl and geese, so they'll have lots of meals.
And here's George and Flower. They're scared because it's about an hour drive for them to get here. And it was the day of the big release, and part of me was kind of sad. It's kind of like your kids going off to school. It's like, don't forget to write, call me. So, why do I have cat hair all over? Ah. So, we took the big crate out, and they were George Clooney and Flower were in the crate.
You want to help?
Sure. What if we pull it?
What if you just do this?
Here, you want to step over too, Jeannie, so you can get closer?
Well, let's see. My little short way.
You guys gonna take pictures?
Yes, my children, school photos,
Flower, George. Come on, boys and girls.
That's Flower, right?
Come on, George. Come on, George Clooney.
I can't stay in much longer, buddy. We're vertical.
Beautiful tail. George, it's okay, George. Come on. Come on, George.
Yep.
His feet are on the ground.
Ready. There we go. Watch yourself.
Goodbye, George Clooney. Goodbye.
And they lifted it over the barbed wire fence, these guys, and opened it up, and it was only a minute before Flower took off. And as she runs out, you can see her front right leg is just a little wonky, but it's okay. She got the blessing from the vet and the rescue center and the whole team. So she went running down and kind of veered off to the right. Well, George Clooney was not coming out. He wasn't as brave as she was. He was going to stay in that crate. So they had to, as you can see, kind of tip it upside down so that, he would go out. So he ran out in the same direction, and he veered off to the left a little bit. But they said they will yip and yap and discover where the other is. So while we were there, they left a bunch of frozen mice and some cat food, some dry cat food. And they asked if every few days I would go and leave some more. I said yes. They left me with bags of frozen mice that I have in my freezer and a big bag of cat food. And I asked what else I could leave there, and they said, cut up some grapes and some apples. They're omnivores. They'll eat anything. They prefer meat if they can get it. But so I'm going to throw out some good food once in a while, just in case, to make sure they get a good start. They had learned to kill again in their enclosure. It's a hard part of the rehabilitation, but it's necessary for survival. And so I'll take some things out, some scraps of meat, cheap scraps of meat, and some cat food and fruit, and you know me, they're probably going to get prime rib or something. But it was such a heartwarming day, and it took a long time to get to this day. July, August, September, October, 4 months. But here, almost 5 months, because we're almost into December. But here we are. They are healthy. They are strong. They are flea and tick free because they got their, flea and tick medicine that should last about, 8 to 12 months. And they have a good shot at making it in the wild, as good a shot as any. I thought about, we have a canyon behind us. I thought about releasing them there, but with our cats and, Marco, our little Papillon, coyotes are opportunistic, and I don't want to encourage any accidents. So this place I found was just perfect, just perfect. So anyway, I thought I would share this with you and let you know about beautiful, beautiful Flower and handsome George Clooney. And they think, by the way, and you see in the video that his tail has a white tip. So they're thinking he may have something else in him, like maybe some wolf or something like that. I guess they do crossbreed. So, very interesting. I don't know if I'll ever see her again. As we drove away today, I looked down one of the dirt roads and I saw her, and she looked at me and I looked at her, and I rolled the window down and I said, "Flower." And she looked, she turned and ran the right way, which was good. So anyway, that is my ramble about something that was really very special, and I'm just very happy, very, very happy and satisfied. The Sierra Wildlife Rescue Center is an amazing organization. If you have a 501c3 that you donate to, and you want to give to a good cause, please donate to them. I'll put their link in the description. I am certainly going to support them. These are volunteers who take their time, their gas, their efforts to rehabilitate animals, all kinds of animals. Burn animals from burns, and we've had so many of those from our fires. All kinds of animals, skunks, raccoons, birds, you name it, they rehabilitate them. So it's a really special organization, and I want to support them. So if you're looking to make a donation, please consider them and do it in honor of Flower and George Clooney, and because those are two special coyotes that will leave their mark on a lot of hearts. So I would appreciate it if you did that. So that's that. Since I was not too far from our post office, I stopped by and picked up my mail, which I only pick it up once or twice a week, and then my box gets stuffed and full. And I got something that I want to show you. I haven't even opened it except the top. And this is from a stay-at-home mom who has a side business through Etsy, and I'm going to share her link because I really support that. And she reached out to me because she's also a Crohn's warrior. And my son has really been fighting this thing, and it's a day-by-day battle. But that's not what this is about. But anyway, that's what, made her kind of contact me and say, hey, this is a special thing that we have in common, and I'd love to share what I do on Etsy with you. So I thought I would show you. Now, my address is in my description. I have that buy me a cup of coffee, but I am not making pleas for things or monies. So many people have asked, do I have a Patreon? Can they contribute? They want to do something as a way to say thank you. And my instinct is to say, no, don't do anything. It's, don't do that. And I realized that some people just want to give, and I have to allow that. So I have that buy me a cup of coffee, and sometimes people send me things, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I'm drinking tea that Charlotte sent me. Yorkshire tea. Oh. So look at this. So Risa sent me, I hope it's okay I show this, Risa. Look at her cute. It says, thank you, Mrs. Jeannie, for supporting our mommy's small business. And if you need a gift, check her out. Her company is called hSquared. H, the letter H. So look at this. I recycle this. Look how beautiful this is. Okay, where are my scissors? Oh, right here. I truly honor stay-at-home moms who are artistic and creative, and I shouldn't say stay-at-home moms, or stay-at-home dads too. Oh, hard job, I know. And if you have something that helps, that, to make ends meet, look at the cute little. Wow. It's a wine stopper. And look at my cup today. Best winemaker ever. Look at this. It's a mermaid's tail. Okay, so that is a clay mermaid tail wine stopper, and it has the initial J on it. I love it. This is a resin trinket dish. This I will have next to my bed because sometimes when I sleep on my hands, my rings, I throw them on my nightstand and then the cats kind of bat at them. I've lost them before. Thankfully, I find them. This is great. It's hard to see, but that is so cute. Oh boy. Wow, look at these earrings. Can you see those? Those are beautiful. These are hand-dyed, natural crushed clear quartz earrings on hypoallergenic gold-colored hoops. Oh, I can't wait to wear these. They're beautiful. They're just gorgeous. So beautiful. And then, oh my gosh, little gingerbread earrings. Look at those. And they're painted. See those? Oh gosh, I hope you can see this. I'm such a dork when it comes to showing things close to the camera. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Look at those. Those are fantastic. And then there's another bag. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. This is a resin painted like a pen holder or makeup brushes. That's what I need. Just what I need. And a little mermaid tail ornament. And a paw print, a resin paw print of like a cat. Thank you, Risa. I'm going to check out your Etsy shop. I really appreciate these lovely handmade gifts, and I will be supporting your shop, and I hope our ASMR community here will as well. So, thank you. Beautiful work. You're an artist. I envy your talent. Well, everyone, I just wanted to give you a quick, but not so quick, ramble, blah, 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 of an update about Flower and George Clooney, and keep them in your thoughts and prayers that they go on to live a healthy life and have lots of babies, but they never attack anybody's personal animals, and but they just live a long and happy life. My heart is full today, and I needed this. We've had a couple of tough things going on, and I'll give you another catch up with some of that stuff. You know, just because all the kids are moved out and you think you're settled and established doesn't mean sometimes drama doesn't happen. It does still. So, I appreciate all your lovely messages from Thanksgiving, and I had so many I couldn't answer them all, but I read every single one and I gave you a heart. I was able to answer a few, but again, thank you. You guys are truly the best community. I'm just so blessed and honored to be a part of it, and part of your focus, and so I'm glad we've attracted each other into one another's lives. And I have several things planned coming up. It's just been very chaotic here, and but things are settling down a little bit. But now Christmas is on our tail real fast. But that's okay. I hope you are well. I bid you so much peace and wellness and health and as much happiness as you can garner in this world. It's there. Look for the flowers among the weeds. They're there. They're there. Thank you again. Bye for now. I'll see you soon.